The other day, Venerable Tarp and I went into Newport and we were doing a number of chores, and we discovered that the town of Newport is getting ready for this huge, big deal on November 1st. They're going to send off this huge Christmas tree. It's a tree that they harvested from the Colville National Forest, and they're going to send it off on a truck that day, or maybe the next day, to Washington, D.C., where it will take up a perch on the lawn of the city's capital for Obama to see and everyone else. So when we were in town, there was this very noticeable sort of vibe. Many of the storefronts have this decorative logo going on the windows, and people are having to skip Halloween and go right into Christmas for this event, which in my opinion is just fine. And then we had one more stop. We went by some kind of government building, and Venerable Tarpa pointed out that the flag was at half-mast. And so I was wondering what this was about, and then Venerable Tarpa mentioned something, but it didn't really register in my mind at all. And so yesterday I went online and I was wondering what was going on, and I found out that this is a very sad week in this country again. So I'm just going to read to you what I discovered, and it's really quite, it's really disturbing. 2 math teachers were slain this week. 2, not 1, but 2. So the first one we know about. It wasn't hard to find this story. Michael Lansbury, 45, had served in the Marine Corps, including 2 tours of duty in Afghanistan and in the Nevada National Guard. Police and witnesses say he tried to stop a 12-year-old student who brought a semi-automatic handgun to his middle school Monday in Sparks, Nevada. By the time the shooting was over, 2 students had been wounded, Lansbury fatally shot, and the boy with the gun dead from a self-inflicted wound. The next story I had trouble finding, and I don't know what made me keep looking, but I think this story happened either the same day or the next day. Yeah, the next day, on the other side of the country, in Danvers, Massachusetts, another popular math teacher, 24-year-old Colleen Ritzer, was allegedly killed by a 14-year-old student, who authorities say then dropped her body in some woods behind the school. Those who knew her say Ritzer had a habit of standing outside her room during class changes and greeting students she didn't even know. Now, just to emphasize the level of fear and anxiety that is in this country, this is another story I found that happened this week. It's a slightly different topic, but you can just see how people are reacting. And this is a story that took place in San Francisco this week, on Tuesday. Sheriff deputies shot and killed a 13-year-old boy who was carrying a replica assault rifle they mistook for the real thing. The shooting occurred Tuesday afternoon in Santa Rosa, California, about 60 miles north of San Francisco. Andy Lopez, a middle school student, died on the scene. 2 patrolling officers spotted the teenager holding the gun and repeatedly ordered him to drop his weapon. The deputies fired several rounds from the guns, striking the subject several times. So, with all of this gun violence and deaths, it's just really shocking. And Venerable Children has given a number of talks on BBC's about how we as spiritual practitioners can deal with this, with our minds around this. And so I'll have Venerable Damchu put that link in with this talk, so you can go and look at those, because she has far more wisdom on this than I do. But really what stands out for me is 2 things. Number 1, as practitioners, we have to really engage in very serious purification daily to make sure that whatever seeds we have in our mind stream that would cause us to act like that are purified and removed, because we have this potential in us. We all have it. And also to make prayers and aspirations for the families, the victims, and everyone who's grieving these people who have passed away this week. But I think we really have to step it up as practitioners, and we have to get active. And so Venerable Children sent around a link to the people here in the community saying we should look at this website called Mayors Against Illegal Guns. And so I looked at that today, and there's some very interesting, compelling information on that website. The first thing we need to know is that in this country, every day, 33 people are murdered with guns. Every day. Then there's 2 other pieces of interesting information. The presence of a gun in a domestic violent situation increases the risk of homicide for women by 5 times. That's in this country. The second fact that's on this website is that women in the US are 11 times more likely to be murdered with guns than women in other high-income countries. So we really have to get vocal with our government officials. We have to sign petitions, and on this website there is a petition that you can sign. I did that this morning. And then if you are a citizen of the United States, there's also instructions about how to contact your senators and get them moving on this. So I'll tell you a bit more about what's on this website. There's a section called Demand Action. And it's a national bipartisan coalition of mayors working to make America's communities safer by keeping illegal guns out of dangerous hands. It was co-founded in 2006 by New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg and Boston Mayor Thomas Menino. The coalition has grown from a committed group of 15 members to more than 1,000 mayors from 46 states. Protecting the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding Americans goes hand in hand with keeping guns out of the hands of criminals, drug abusers, the seriously mentally ill, and other dangerous people. And I think to that list now we can add very disturbed young people. 12 and 14-year-olds picking up guns and shooting their teachers. So Mayors Against Illegal Guns advocates for common sense measures that will close deadly gaps in our gun laws and make sure law enforcement agencies have the tools they need to detect and deter gun trafficking. So I think if those pieces of information have gotten to you today, it certainly got to me, we really have to act, and we have to act, I think, every week. I think we have to call our senators every week, and we have to keep signing as many petitions as we can, and just, get together as groups across this country and really unite in voicing our concerns and getting these laws changed. So for the benefit of all sentient beings, let's engage.